Good morning. We'll start session 2 on chapter Is Matter Around Us Pure? So in our yesterday's class, we understood what do you mean by is matter around us pure? So we basically classified about matter when we talk. It is something called as its physical properties and chemical properties. About chemical properties means what is the chemical composition of the matter. So based on the chemical composition of the matter, we divide that in terms of pure substance and impure substance. Pure and impure based on the chemical composition of the given matter. So we understood what are pure substance. All elements and compounds come under pure substance. All mixtures come under impure substance. Then we also understood the differentiate between mixture and compound. So in today's class, we will further understand about how mixture is further classified. So as we had discussed, we will be more discussing in this chapter about impure substance only. That is about mixtures. What are the further classification of mixtures? We just understood about under mixture it is broadly classified as homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. We only understood that homogeneous mixture has one phase wherein heterogeneous has more than one phase. That means homogeneous will have a clear solution. If I give you a salt and a water and if you mix it, that is only one phase. If I give you some sand and water, it has two phases because we can see water as well as we can see sand. Wherein here in salt and water you cannot differentiate between the salt and water because it is thoroughly mixed very well, right? So let's see what are the properties of homogeneous mixture and what are the properties of heterogeneous mixture. So the mixture which leaves no residue behind are called as homogeneous mixture, or the mixture which leaves residue behind are called as heterogeneous mixture. We all have studied this in our lower classes. We only know its definition and an example. Now here in your syllabus, we will understand the properties of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. I have just written down homogeneous. I have written all solution come under homogeneous mixture. That means if I take a lemonade, sugar solution, salt solution, all this will come under a homogeneous mixture because they mix with that very well. Particles in the homogeneous mixture are less than 1 nanometer. That means just imagine a particle being 1 meter. You know how much is 1 meter. 1 centimeter also you know how big it is. Now if you take a scale, you know how big is a centimeter. Just imagine how small could be 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer can be represented as 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Right? So the particles are less than 1 nanometer. That means you cannot even see these particles with your naked eyes. They are that very small and minute one. If I give you a salt solution, can you see the salt particles in that? Not possible at all, right? So the particles are that minute in a homogeneous mixture. That is why all solutions come under homogeneous mixture. It is something about Tyndall effect I have written. I will be discussing this at the end about this. What is Tyndall effect? We will learn that later because that's a completely different effect which it shows, right? So cannot be separated. True. If I give you a salt solution and tell that separate salt and separate water from that, physically we cannot separate it, right? That means it is so very well mixed. These particles are so small, minutely mixed in that we cannot separate it by normal filtration method or any of the method. We cannot separate the solution. Then it has a single phase. This is what we decided in the beginning only. So these are the properties of homogeneous mixture. We'll move on to heterogeneous mixture. Component can be identified easily. Yes, because it leaves the residue behind. Suppose if I give you chalk and water, or assume I give you a sand and water, ask you to mix it. After some time what will happen if you leave it untouched, undisturbed, all the sand particles will settle down in a beaker, correct? Only the water will be there. So components can be identified. If I tell you identify the sand particles in it, you can easily show me. These are the sand particles which are actually settled down. It has more than one phase. Yes, of course, because they are not mixing with each other. So it has more than one phase. Particles are sized between 1 nanometer or more. That means here we had less than 1 nanometer. Here particles are sized between 1 nanometer and beyond, right? Not less than that. That means they are a step ahead of homogeneous mixture. Particles are sized between 1 nanometer or more. Shows Tyndall effect. As I have told you, we'll discuss Tyndall effect later. So this is about difference between, or you can say properties of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, how we bifurcate mixture. Now again these have subdivisions, what I can tell. Now for example, when I talk about a homogeneous mixture, I told that all are solutions. That means solution itself is a homogeneous mixture. That's the first bifurcation. Heterogeneous mixture, when I talk about, it has again two broad classification. Based on that, we said that components can be identified easily, right? And particles are sized. Upon this, components can be identified easily, and depending upon the phase, we again bifurcate heterogeneous mixture in two types. That is colloidal and colloidal solution and suspension. Let us see that. So mixtures, as we know, broadly classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous, right? So under homogeneous, we call that as a solution, or we also tell that as a true solution. Okay. Classification of heterogeneous mixture, we again have two types. They are colloids, or we call them as a colloidal solution, or we call them as a suspension. Okay. We understand what are solution, what are colloids, and what are suspension here in detail. That is nothing but we are understanding the properties of solution, properties of colloids, and properties of suspension. Now when I talk about a solution, I have written here true solution. True solution in the sense is it mixes. It has mixed with each other with only one phase. You cannot see, you cannot differentiate. That is why true solution. Again, solution has its again further classification. Solute, solvent, right? So we all know what is solute, solvent. This is something basic things what we have all studied. But here we will be going in depth with the content. Initially first we understand solution, colloids, suspension. Then again we'll see what are the further classifications. Solution. True solution, again the same thing it goes. Particles are small, less than 1 nanometer. As already discussed over here, all solution particles are less than 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer is nothing but 10 raised to minus 9 meter. They are transparent. Yes, this is the main thing. They are transparent. True. If I give you a salt solution, a lemonade, or a sugar solution, it is transparent, right? You can see. If I am holding it, I can see the other side what is it, correct? So it is transparent. Next, cannot be separated by filtration. Now if I tell you, separate the salt particles from the water, even if you use the filtration process, what will happen? Particles are so very small that it will pass off in that filtration process also along with the water. That means you cannot separate the particles as I have drawn here. Though they are big only, but still if I compare with these two, these are tiny particles. Assume that these are in something about 10 raised to minus 9 nanometer, right? I'm sorry, 10 raised to minus 9 meter. That is 1 nanometer. Particles are so small, even if I do filtration process, those particles will pass through filtration process also. That means I cannot separate them. Now we had discussed, or we had told here, no Tyndall effect. Something I have written, does not scatter beam of light. I will again discuss this after we complete homogeneous and heterogeneous about scattering of light, because there is a separate phenomena to understand what is scattering of light basically, right? So example, salt plus water, sugar plus water. These are the best example for true solution. Next, there can be a question saying that what are the properties of true solution? Now you need not wonder what is true solution. True solution is nothing but a solution itself. Next we'll move to heterogeneous mixture. Under heterogeneous we have colloids or colloidal solution and suspension. Now colloidal solution are ranged between 1 to 100 nanometer, that is they are ranged somewhere between 10 raised to minus 9, 10 raised to 7 meter. That means they are more than, or what we have written, the particles are sized between 1 nanometer and more. Means this and more, right? This is the size of the particle. They are translucent. Now we all know the meaning of transparent and translucent, right? And opaque. Opaque is something where you cannot see. Now I can call this stick as a opaque or this pen as a opaque, wherein I can't see the other side of it. Now translucent, we have our Windows glasses sometimes translucent, correct? That means you cannot see it clearly, but you can still few things like a shadow, like a few, we can assume that something is there, but you cannot see it clearly. Understanding my point? Now window glasses are also transparent, but few window glasses are translucent, wherein you can see things from one side to another, but not clearly. So they are ranged between 1 to 100 nanometer. They are translucent. Now these are the particles actually in the colloidal solution. You can make out from this to this, there is a large difference. They can be separated by filtration. Of course, yes. Now if I give you example, I have given here milk actually as a colloidal solution. Now you can ask me, how do I separate milk using filtration? Not easy, right? If I just pour it on the filter paper, it will go thoroughly. But actually when I talk about the milk, if you add some more water to the milk, in that case, if you leave it undisturbed for some time, a part or a thick milk will actually settle down and the layer of water will be slight raised up. Quite difficult here to understand, but just imagine that colloidal solution. Now one more example if I tell you here is, now I'll give you mud, right, and I'll give you water. Now when you take mud and mix it in water, what happens? It mixes well. That means if it is mixing well, is it a solution? No, it cannot be solution because there are some small finer particles in mud also, right? You can do this practically. Just take some 2 or 3 scoops of mud from your garden. Take a glass of water, just mix it well. Of course, if stones are there, remove them before only. Try to use the finer mud. What will happen here? That will actually mix with water. But still, can you see the particles are suspended in that? Right? So that is why we call them as a colloidal solution. I am not using the example here sand and water because sand will settle down. You can see the sand. Mud or clay is the best example I can tell you. Now clay is very soft. Clay will not have anything. But still when you mix it, what type of a solution do you get there? You get a translucent solution. Correct? So milk, usually when we talk about the colloid, we have again much detail of colloid in later chapter, you will understand. So milk is an example of a colloid actually. So we have given filtration here, that is not, milk can be separated by filtration, I am not telling. With the method of filtration, you can separate colloidal particles. Got it? Milk cannot be separated by filtration. But the method what we use for separating colloids is filtration method. Here, example of a colloidal solution can be milk, etc. There are many examples. Milk is one example what I have given you. Because I am to tell you, it is translucent. It is not opaque. Milk is not opaque, right? There is always a wrong thing like milk could be an opaque. No, milk comes under a translucent part. So these are the particles. This is how the particles are suspended in the colloidal solution. We'll move on to the next one. Suspension. Now, suspension, particles are larger more than 100 nanometer. That means particles are much more than 100 nanometer. They are more than this 10 raised to 7 I have written, more than the nanometer. They are opaque. That means you cannot see anything. It can be separated by filtration. Scatter beam of light. Okay, we'll again understand here. Scatter beam of light, scatter beam of light. Example, chalk powder plus water. Now again here, I have written filtration. So understand one thing. What examples I give here that need not be separated by the method what I have written, right? What process it can be separated we have written here. We have just chosen a random example for suspension. Chalk powder plus water is an example for suspension. So these are the particles, how they are settled. That means can you separate it? Yes, we can separate it. We can see them clearly. Now sand and water also can be an example. So these are something called as mixture, where we differentiate them in terms of homogeneous, heterogeneous. Homogeneous in terms of true solution, heterogeneous in terms of colloidal, and something called as suspension. Now, let me come to this part of thing. Tyndall effect, something I had written. Now, before I explain you the definition of a Tyndall effect, let me tell you what actually I mean by does not scatter beam of light, scatter beam of light, scatter beam of light here. Now, before I start with this, I would like to give you all one small activity today. So, what you all have to do is take 2 glass, right? Transparent, of course. So, when you take 2 glass, fill in 1 glass, take salt solution, okay? And in other glass, okay, take milk only as an example, best thing. Both are easily available at home. You need not even go out to search something. So, take 2 glass, transparent one, do not take a steel one, you don't understand anything. So, when we take in one salt solution and another we take a milk, right? You all might be having torch at home, correct? Small, not a bigger one, depending on the size of the glass what you have chosen, of that size. Now take the torch, assume that this is a liquid, 2 liquids what you have taken, spread or on the torch, right? I want to know what you will see. Surprisingly, you know what you will see? When you pass the light through the salt solution, if this is a light, assume that if this is water, okay, this is your salt solution water. If I just hold a torch and pass it here, the light will not pass from here, right? Yes, you know it is transparent. When you just leave the torch here, the light of this torch will not pass here. That means the light is not getting scattered. It is not passing to the other end, right? Under which condition? In salt solution part, okay? Now take the same torch and keep it under a next glass which has a milk. You will see that the light is moving, or the light has actually scattered from the other end. What you can do is, if you hold it and check here and check this side, you can see that actually. I want you all to do this at home, right? Because it is very simple. When we tell about it scatters beam of light, does not scatter, or it scatters here, things won't be easy to understand unless you do it practically at home. So when you do that for this, light does not scatter. That means here, in solution, true solution, light does not scatter the beam of light. Why it is not scattering the beam of light? Because now we have water, those particles. Those particles and water are filled throughout. See here, is there any space in this? It is what I can tell again. Remember solid, liquid, gases? They are tightly packed. There is no space for something to enter. That means a light entering here has no space to come out, right? It will not allow you to go out because there are so small tiny particles in them, right? Assume light entering here. There are so many spaces because particles are big enough. Light can come out easily. The beam can scatter easily. Imagine in this condition. There is space, enough and more space. That means light does not scatter. It does not scatter the beam of light. Beam of light is not scattered in a true solution because particles are very small. Beam of light is scattered in a colloidal solution. beam of light is scattered in a suspension because the particles are so big, they have enough space to scatter that light. I want you all to try this because you'll understand this concept better. Now, coming to this, then what is Tyndall effect? The process, or it's a technique in which the light scatters. Now, there is no particular definition or something for Tyndall effect. Now, best, what if I have to tell you what is Tyndall effect here is, we'll understand definition wise later, but what Tyndall effect is actually means. Now, you have a window and there is somewhere small opening in your window, right? In between around say 11 to 2 p.m. it's quite sunny outside. If there is a small hole or opening, can you see the sun rays falling, right? In that sun rays falling, can you see air particles suspended? That is Tyndall effect, right? It is just a focus of light, what you can tell. Now you have a full canopy covered, trees and leaves. Sunlight sometimes cannot pass through the canopy. It is so thick, but there is a small wide opening, Through that the sunlight falls, right? Simple thing of what I told you was from your window or from your door, from anywhere, one point where a small sunlight enters. That entering, when you have seen in that, have you seen particles being suspended? These, I'll tell you, this chapter when we talk about, it's full of practical things. It is not that you have to go to a lab or you have to buy some things and do it. It is where in and what you are doing in your day-to-day life itself, you can experiment these things. Now, for example, when I told you, does not scatter and scatter here. We can try this at home. Similarly, the Tyndall effect, you can observe it at any point of time during a bright sunny day, right? That air particles suspended, that is Tyndall effect. So, this is about, we will be understanding about the definition of Tyndall effect and some more points about solution. Again, it comes under solute, solvent, what is it, in our next class. So, in today's class, we understood about mixture bifurcation into homogeneous, heterogeneous, properties of homogeneous, heterogeneous, further classification of homogeneous to true solution, heterogeneous to colloidal solution and suspension. We understood the meaning of Tyndall effect. That means true solution does not scatter the beam of light, wherein colloidal solution and suspension scatters the beam of light. I will again start my tomorrow's class with the scattering of beam of light and with the definition of Tyndall effect, and will proceed further. So in today's class, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.